Hello, you've reached Gloria with Farmstead Talk, and I am here today with Jake and Becky of White House on the Hill, and they are representing their state in Missouri today in this homesteading interview. Thank you,
Woo!
guys, and welcome. Thank you for joining me. Would you like to share with the audience where they can find you on social media?
Sure. We are White House on the Hill on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the majority of our content is in a 1 or 2 video a week on YouTube, and then we'll post some daily content on Facebook and Instagram, just smaller pictures and videos, but that's really where to find us.
Great. So I know that you just participated in an interview with Homesteading. It was a very great interview, very thorough. I would like to piggyback today off of that and just delve into and explore a little bit about Jake and Becky, how you guys met, and how did you get to where you are today? So with that, let's just recap real quick, though, off of that interview and share with the audience, in case they don't know you, which I'm sure everybody knows you on YouTube, but a little bit about your homestead, where it's located, a little bit of a feel for that land, and just who you folks are. Just real quick, brief recap.
We're on a farm in northwest Missouri, just outside of St. Joseph, Missouri. It's about an hour north of Kansas City. And
30 minutes now.
45 minutes north of Kansas City. And we've been renting on a homestead for the past 3 years. And then we bought this land and moved here end of last summer. So we've been here about 6 months. We couldn't be more excited about this land and this opportunity because we've been on a property that we really couldn't build anything on, and so now we're
really restricted on animals, so we stuck to a lot of the poultry. So we had chickens, turkeys, ducks, we got peacocks there. We got the emus, and then that's when we had to venture out to more land.
Yeah, the emus kind of outgrew our little 1 acre space, and so we definitely had to go somewhere bigger, and so it all led us to this place here.
Yeah, and I think that's really your niche, would you say, with all the poultry and different birds?
Certainly is, and hatching videos and birds is what we were really constrained to at that time, and we're definitely going to venture out and try some different things with different building projects, and then once we get a fence in, we're going to get into more livestock like cattle and horses and pigs. But yeah, I think just the way that YouTube works, we're kind of in that bird niche at this point where that'll be our main content, but we're going to try to weave in some other parts of homesteading along the way.
Right. I know when people say White House on the Hill and they say, oh, the people with the emus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me how you guys met. How did you meet and how long ago did you meet?
The day was September 20. No, I don't know what day that was, but
It was not September. It was the beginning of the school year.
I know, but that was like August or September.
I guess so. So we met at Missouri Western. We went to college there. Jake was playing baseball, and I was on leadership for Crusade, Campus Crusade. And he was looking for a place to just connect. And we met there at one of the meetings at Campus Crusade, and kind of.
Can I stop and ask what that is?
Campus Crusade?
It's a Christian organization for college students.
Okay.
I think it's non-denominational.
It's pretty much non-denominational. It met weekly, and so it was just a way to connect with other Christian college students.
Okay.
So I was on leadership there. I introduced myself in front of the group, and
she said something about working at a sporting goods store.
Yeah, and I think that he heard that.
Okay.
I heard that.
Oh, discounts. Oh, I'll have to look.
So I was a baseball player, and I needed batting gloves, and so I went in there. I think the next day or a couple days later, and got some batting gloves and had an excuse to meet her there. And then we hung out as pretty much as friends for about that first semester, and then that second semester at college we started dated for about 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
About 3 years, and then got married in 2006, and we've been married for 13, going on 14 years now. We've got 3 kids that are 7, 4, and 10 months old right now, 3 boys.
Very nice. What a lovely story. Okay. So did you ever think that you would be where you are today? When you think back all those years ago when you first met and then you started dating, did you ever like kind of have a feel of, I wonder where this relationship is going to take us, and ever daydream about what it might look like, and then look at actually today where you're at?
Not in
Do you ever foresee any of this happening in your future when you were when you were younger?
I don't know if I ever would have seen myself on a lot of property. I certainly wouldn't have seen myself owning animals, really. Like I didn't have animals growing up. It was not until I moved out that my parents got cats. We never had animals growing up. And so I just didn't even think that as a possibility. We moved to Kansas City when we first got married from this area where we went to college, and then moved to Kansas City. And so I just thought we were going to work jobs and just live in the city is really where we were at.
I did. I grew up on a farm. My parents lived on a farm, and I always loved having animals and having a garden. So I always had a dream to be on a ranch and have my own property and have horses and lots of animals. So I always wanted that. But when we moved to town, I was really restricted. I always was wanting we had an acre in town. It was just a big yard. And I was wanting Jake to let me get some chickens. And he was like, no, we're not.
Well, I was really nervous because we were in Kansas City, Kansas, and there's wild dogs all over the place. We had dogs that would break into our yard from time to time. And like, I thought I was going to die to a pit bull at one point. Had one nearly attack me. And so I was really nervous to have anything in our yard, but I just thought it was crazy to have chickens in the city. I just didn't even think people would do that. But once we got to a point where we got really tired of where we were at.
We were tired of the rat race.
Yeah.
Too. We were working jobs. Jake had 4 jobs at one time, and he was just working nonstop. I had 2 kids at the time. Yeah. I was a nanny for a couple, and I had their kids, so I would go to their house. But it was it was hectic. We were just going, and we were just working paycheck to paycheck.
We weren't seeing each other, and we were just getting to a point of where this isn't the life we wanted to live. We didn't want to just work to live.
Right.
And we were in debt, and it wasn't what we wanted. And so we started to work towards changing that. And so the first step was selling our house, which we tried to sell our house for about 9 years. And it was all during like the market crash with the housing crash in 2008. And so it took till 2015 to finally sell our house. And then that gave us an opportunity to start over. And so it wasn't something that we expected or planned, but that gave us new freedom to try to really figure out what we wanted out of life.
Wow.
So then we moved in with my parents for 3 months, and we found a rental that was on a farm, and it was able to, we were able to start saving money. And
yeah, so we got completely out of debt, sold everything, and just started saving money. And then what did we do?
And then I was able to get my chickens.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting 6 chickens. We went to the farm store, just bought straight runs. But it really got us interested in how to take care of animals, because it's been such a long time since I had chickens. So, and he had never had them. So we were watching YouTube on how to raise them, how to take care of them, what to put, the housing and everything. So we ended up coming across a YouTube channel of local homesteaders that would bring their whole family along. And we loved that idea that they were able to just YouTube with their family. And it was an awesome opportunity for us that we were like, maybe we could do that. Yeah,
so we just saw them raising chickens, and then it led to this whole homesteading thing that we had no idea even existed.
Right.
And it opened our eyes to our food system, growing our own food, raising animals, being home with our family. And that really gave us the itch or the bug to want to do that ourselves.
So do either one of you now currently work another job off the farm?
Nope, we're all here all the time.
Yep.
Okay. What
Homeschool
kind of,
the boys and everything.
yeah, well, you got your handful with the baby now too, right? So
Yeah.
what kind of financial advice can you give to anybody that may be a new homesteader on the fence wanting to start this kind of lifestyle but don't have the funds to start it?
Well, you can go a couple different routes, because you could start where you're at. You could, if you're in town, you can grow a garden. You can see what your local ordinances are about having chickens or different things like that. But if it's something you truly desire to live out on some land, that's what it took us a while to get here, because we were renting for the last 3 years. We didn't even think it was a possibility to buy something like we end up buying. But there were a lot of challenges getting the land that we got. So we were open to a lot of different spaces. Like we were really close to just buying 5 acres just to find something that was our own.
Just bare land and living, on an RV or something for a while.
But for us, it was, we got out of debt in 2015, sold our house. And then for the last 3 years up until we bought this property, we sold everything. We paid off our cars. We were done with like college, all of our college loans. And so it was something where we didn't have any bills. And so I was able to focus more on finding ways to make money with homesteading with our farm. And so I would work part-time jobs, seasonal jobs. Becky would be at home. And so it'd be something where we'd save up money during parts of the year, and then we'd be able to work more on trying to figure out how we wanted to make money with this, or what would actually work for us, until we were able to make things work with our video content with YouTube. But if that didn't work out, we were looking down other avenues for either selling, raising chickens for meat and selling that, going that route, or coming up with like a product, like either writing books or, we were going to come up with a couple other different types of products at one point if this didn't work out. So we were looking down different avenues to try to make this our full-time income in some capacity.
But we started out very small.
Yeah.
Our gardens, since we had such a small space, and people for starting out, it's always good to start small, just to kind of venture out, not to do something huge and overwhelm them. But we started with a pallet garden. We did pots.
Yeah, because you can get pallets for free. We built small raised beds that were really cheap to put together.
Yeah, and we did pots. We just did little spaces, and so people that don't have a lot of space, don't have a lot of money, that's always a good option, good way to start.
So what I'm hearing you say is start small, try to get out as much of debt as possible, right?
Right.
Try to find other sources of income.
Right.
And have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a long-term vision for us. It was really to start out as a hobby. And even though it felt like a long time at the time, it took us about a year and a half to really start to make some kind of income with this. And so initially you've got to have a long-term mindset of just working whatever you can to make money to then pay for your hobby or your dream. And then at the point that this took over as an income, then we were able to leave everything else and just work with this. But I know it's a challenging thing for a lot of people to figure out what to do, to find your skill set, to find out what you're good at. And that's what when we started this venture, we hadn't done video at all. We hadn't edited anything. And so for us, that's something I had to explore and just figure out until I felt like it was going the right direction, figure out our niche with our videos. So for us, it was just figuring things out for a certain amount of time until it actually started to work for us.
And that's quite the challenge, isn't it? When you delve into something that you have no idea what you're doing and you self-teach yourself, it's difficult. And homesteading for sure it's not easy. It's a lot of work, but it is so fulfilling and gratifying.
Yeah.
And people can go slow. It doesn't happen overnight, for sure not.
No, and you don't have to have, it can be a hobby, it can be a part-time thing. It doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be full-time or you can't figure out a way to make it full-time, you can find ways to do it in whatever capacity would meet your satisfaction to where you can actually enjoy life more, because we weren't, when we were in the city, we just weren't enjoying life at that point.
Right.
I'm going to read a quote to you written by one of our presidents, Thomas Jefferson. Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will in the end contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness. So what are your thoughts on that?
We agree.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's been definitely a good opportunity for us to raise our kids this way. In the future, or in the past, we would have probably just sent them to public school and not have been home with them. Yeah. They would have been around animals or the garden. And so this has really brought us back to the basics. And I really like that we're able to show them what real life is. They get to see a chick hatch or see how an emu runs around and how does it interact with people. And it's really taught them to value life and to value each other or as a family. And so we really, I love it. I think living this life has changed everything that we've known before.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have so much knowledge that you have accrued since this venture has begun, and you've done so fabulous with with YouTube and all your other social media. Will there be any more platforms that you will share your knowledge in the future?
YouTube's the main thing that we do, but we do. Last year we did our first speaking engagement out at the Baker Creek Heirloom Planting Festival out in California. And that was a lot of fun. It was really nerve-wracking because we're not used to speaking in front of people. People will say, you talk in front of thousands of people through your videos, but it's really just us in front of a camera. And so right. It's totally different than speaking up in front of a large crowd. So that was something new for us. But this year we've got a few events that we're going to. We're going to the Shindig in Arkansas beginning of April, which is with Roots and Refuge and VW Family Farm. We're going to speak in some panels there. Nice. Beginning of May is the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival down in Mansfield, Missouri, southwest Missouri. I think we're speaking there, but either way, we're going just to hang out with everybody. That's been a lot of fun the last couple of years, just to see people that enjoy growing food, good music, good food, and it's a lot of fun just to meet up with like-minded people. And then we might go back to that Heirloom Festival out in California in September, and then for sure in October is the big show, is the Homesteaders of America Conference out in Front Royal, Virginia. And we've gone to that every year. There's been 3 years of that, and this will be the 4th year of the conference. And we shoot the video for the event itself. And so, want to go get him? We hear our 10-month-old is crying in the background. We'll bring him on here and make an appearance. But that's, we don't speak at that one, but that's one where we shoot the video, and then we put out a series of videos to recap the event on YouTube afterwards.
Okay. I'm going to wait for her to come back.
Okay.
So is that a hookup that you have with Amy then? An agreement that you have with her that you, or the organization, that you're doing all the footage for that, or for their videos that they'll be putting out, or how does that work?
We went the first year, 3 years ago, and just shot video for ourselves. I think we had just hit like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or right around it. And so we just saw it as a way to network with our community. We had really no idea who we'd meet out there, but it was I think it was less than 1,000 people out there. It was a one-day event, but we met like Doug and Stacy. We met Esther Emery, Jason, So the Land, and just kind of networked with a bunch of YouTubers. I think we had one viewer that we met while we were out there, so nobody really knew who we were, our channel was at the time, but we made a video from that event and Amy really liked it, and so then she hired us the next year to shoot the video for the event, and then that's led to the last year and this year being part of the staff for that event.
Very nice. That's really nice. What lessons do you think that you're teaching to the kids on the homestead that may not have occurred if you were out in the city?
What do you think? What have we taught them? What have they learned? We were asking Eli this morning at breakfast, like quizzing him on.
What did you learn? What have
you learned? We just quizzed him on some different things that we've just learned from being here. But I think we get, a lot of times I don't think about it, and then somebody will comment after a post or after a video, and they'll say like, you're giving your kids an incredible life, like this opportunity that most kids don't get to grow up in. And a lot of times I don't sit back and think about that. And then that makes me stop and think about it like, wow, this is really different from the way I grew up.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to think 20 years from now. Are they going to be grateful for this opportunity? Are they going to be like, man, we didn't get to grow up around kids in school? Are they going to feel like they missed out on something? But
who can say that they ran around with emus or had them grow up in their house, hatch out chicks and, hold chicks when they're little, and just. It's
been a balance, something we've had to figure out, because we try to incorporate everybody in the family on every video, but at the same time, we don't want to force them to be on it all the time or have to be somebody they're not. And so we just try to show like real life on there, but we don't want them to be like too overexposed on our online content. But we just want to show people that we're real and that we have fun with our family, and we do have a ton of fun together. And I think that's, just like anything, our YouTube and everything, it takes a lot of work. And so it's not like we're always able to spend every minute doing stuff together. It does take work, but I think just being here and being present every day, I think is a blessing for us and for them, that they're going to grow up their entire lives with me here at home with them, getting to be a part of everything they're doing. They get their mom homeschooling them right here while I'm maybe working on a video or something in the other room. And so just to grow up around us the entire time, get to grow up on a farm and just see that start from scratch. Right now, Eli says he wants to grow up and be a YouTuber. We don't really care at this point what he can do whatever he'd like to do, but we love that he enjoys what we do.
Yeah.
And I think what a blessing that you can have your family network, the family together all the time. And I'm sure it's probably a hard balance, because of YouTube, but I think the benefits outweigh any type of negative. I mean, you're all together. I mean, that is such a blessing. So,
yeah, I'm just thinking like early on with the YouTube, like we were trying to make like daily videos, and it was forcing us to be somebody we didn't like how we were having to be. Like I was needing to create content all the time out of everything, and so we really had to step back. And people ask us all the time, like, can you make more videos more often? And it's like, we really need that balance of like, we'll create 1 or 2 videos a week. We'll do things around the farm together for videos, but at the same time, we want enough time to be able to just be ourselves together. And
and I think that balance comes with experience, right? You didn't know that when you started creating content. That's how you got to the place to decide, hey, I need to balance this out a little bit.
Like I didn't see it. I just saw it as like, I need to make content. And Becky would say like, we can't be going at it this hard, because that's not why we came out here. We didn't come out here to just.
It was a little exhausting.
Yeah, to just work around the clock. We at the same time, we wanted to have a balance and have fun together and not be always thinking about this other part of our life. So she balances out my business endeavors, I guess.
Yeah, there's always what's the saying? There's always a great woman behind every man, or.
That's right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, or how does spirituality or religion play into your homesteading lifestyle?
It's a good question, because it's something that's big. It's a big part of our lives, but we don't really show it or talk about it in our videos. We are spiritual. We're religious. We're Christians. We go to church. that's kind of our community, our friends outside of what we do on our farm and our channel is those are our friends from church. And it's a big part of who we are. And people will notice little things here and there. They'll say, our family or our content's really wholesome or really family oriented. And we love to hear that. We don't feel like our content, we just didn't really want to force our spirituality on people through our content. But it's definitely who we are.
Yeah, it's who we are.
Okay.
But it's absolutely why we do what we do. We were talking about it earlier that, getting back to the land, being more natural, everything that God would want us to be in life. That's what we're trying to do here. And everything that's different from the way of the world, from just what we were doing before, where we're just working to live and to spend money, on stuff we didn't need. That's what, part of that has just been trying to be one with the land, being what God wants us to do with our lives.
We've been able to slow down and focus on relationships and not just on ourselves and what we want next or what we have bigger and better, but we focused on more of our family and how we could build other relationships with our friends and family. So that's been good.
So we've been open about that. When people send us messages, we try to respond to everything when we get messages through all social medias or emails. But if they ask us, we absolutely tell them, about us and our spirituality, but it's not something we put out there through our videos. We just didn't want to force something on other people.
Sure, understood. What keeps you motivated when things get really tough in your life?
I think right now since we've moved to a new place, we're super excited. We're still in that honeymoon stage where we're still building new structures and venturing out to our new property. And
our land is pretty vast, and so it's something where we don't see a lot of it, and so there's always something new. And so I'm sure at some point we'll get, potentially, if we fill out the space, or we could get bored or complacent or just used to the routine of it. We do hear a lot of people online they've reached that burnout phase with like, oh, I've got to go out and feed the chickens. I can't ever go anywhere because I'm tired of milking the cow or taking care of the animals. And it's something that we haven't experienced. We feel that a little bit here and there. Like when we go do something, we've got to have somebody here to take care of the animals. So that can be a challenge, but
we've noticed that YouTube, that's been a good,
keeps us accountable. That we have to go out and take care of our animals, and that we try to upkeep everything, cleaning out the pens and stuff. We've got to because if you think if you're just taking care of stuff on your own, nobody ever sees it, you may not have the pride or really take care of it. If you're never worried about somebody else seeing it, or if an animal dies, it's not a big deal. Nobody knows about it. But for us, like our viewers know pretty much all of our animals. If something happens to one of them, they're going to know about it. We can't hide it. We can't just be like, I don't know what happened to Bamboo, our emu. Like,
right.
We've got to be accountable for it. So we really have to take really good care of them, because we've got to show them on video. And so it's something where it keeps us, like you said, accountable for taking care of them, keeping the place looking as good as we can, just because there is an audience for it.
Where or how do you escape when things get overwhelming?
I mean, we've done a few things here and there off the farm. We've had a few trips with like speaking engagements and conferences and Homesteaders of America, and the couple of festivals we've gone to, and it's every couple months there's something like that'll take us away from the farm. And it's great to get to meet up with other like-minded people, get to hang out with people that do what we do or that enjoy our content, and we get to see the faces behind the comments. And so we really enjoy that, but then that refreshes us when we come back But at the same time, like she said, we're still in this honeymoon phase with our property to where, we're going to start building an aviary and a garden. And I think those will be places for the aviary. For me, probably will be a place that I'm going to love and just keep tinkering with this big space for a lot of our specialty birds.
And I know so many people are looking forward to that. That's going to be fabulous.
We're really excited about that. But it puts some pressure on me too, because I feel like I've really got to deliver with something really cool with that. But then we're also working on a garden space because we've got to start from scratch on that. And so that'll be, it'll be totally Becky's to do what she wants. We're coming up with like greenhouse plans right now, and then the shape of everything around it. And that'll be, I think, Becky's little sanctuary to go and spend her time in.
Nice. So we're getting ready to wrap up. So one final question. If you could sum up in one word what your experience has meant to you is with this homesteading venture, what would that word be?
I would say freedom. It's really freed our time up.
No, you should just say that.
Oh.
Just say freedom.
Okay.
Just leave. No, I'm just kidding. You can explain it. You can explain it. Oh, come on. I wanted to say just one word and just be like, have her go, okay, well, that was short and sweet.
Yeah.
No, I'll let you explain that. Explain freedom.
It's freed up our time. It's freed up our family. We're able to be home and enjoy each other and enjoy the land and get to know animals. And it's been freeing. Like, we're not tied up at a job all day and tied up in debt. We're just free.
When I want to make a video, I make a video. When I don't, I can just get other things done. It's all about having freedom out here, being able to figure out, when we build a house and make it off grid, trying to get free of the grid when we're growing our own food, being free of, what other people grow and what they may put into the food. And so just being able to control what we do with our family, what we put into our bodies. It's all about freedom with this lifestyle.
So was that a co-effort word?
Did you?
Do you have your own word?
I would have said freedom as well, but she said it. So
She said it first. Okay.
I was going to say joy, something to that effect of just enjoying life, because there was a time when we just didn't enjoy life. We were working to live, and this life has just given us, it's hard work, but at the same time, it's the life we want. It's the dream that we have. And so having fun, the hardcore homesteader would say everything needs to have a purpose. Mm-hmm. And they question, why do you have these specialty birds? Why do you have emus? And really, at the time, it was a challenge to try to hatch something out different, but at the same time, it brought us so much joy to us and our family. And so having fun in everything that we do. We're going to grow things to feed our family, but to have joy in what we're doing. So we don't think about the work. We're just thinking about having fun along the way.
I couldn't have chose two better words, freedom and joy. You can't ask for more than that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining me today on this interview. It was such a pleasure meeting you, and loved to hear your story. So thank you again so much.
Thank
you so much.
Bye.
Bye.